Good morning. My name is Juanita, and I'm a makeup enthusiast. I'm a more mature woman who has combo dry skin, and I love makeup and color. So, if you'd like to learn how I got my makeup look today, please watch the video. All ready to get my makeup on for the day, and I've already prepped my skin. I used a Naturium vitamin C serum, and I also used one of my favorite creams, which is this Charlotte Tilbury Magic Cream. Love this stuff. It's great for older skin. And now I'm just going to go in and prep with the Milk Hydro Grip primer. And I really like this stuff. This stuff is wonderful. I try not to use too much blurring products in the winter months because my skin is dry. And so I'm either going to use something that's a bit more grippy or that is more hydrating. So I definitely like the Milk Hydro Grip. It's a great primer. Okay, that feels great. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with my Fenty Soft Lit foundation. This is a beautiful, beautiful foundation, especially for us mature skin galleys. And I use shade 150. And I'm going to be using the BK Beauty 101 foundation brush to spread this out. I like to just put it on with my finger, sort of just apply it everywhere and give it a little spread. There we go. Yes, this foundation is absolutely lovely because it gives a natural finish and but it's a little bit luminous, and I really do enjoy this foundation. And we'll just spread it out with the BK Beauty 101 brush. And BK Beauty, I use a lot of their brushes. They're a really good brush brand. Up there with some of my favorites, for sure. So we're just gonna take our time and spread our foundation out and really blend it into the skin and make sure it sinks into the skin. Go. And this is actually a really good match for me. So we just bring it down a little bit just to make sure it blends seamlessly into the neck, because our foundation color should be based off of our neck color and not our face. Often the face color is quite different to what our neck is. So our neck is going to stay bare, so we have to match our foundation from our neck. So the next thing I like to do is just to go in with a color corrector, and I use the Charlotte Tilbury color corrector. This is a great corrector, especially for women with mature skin or anybody with mature skin. And I use the fair shade. The reason why I feel that it's really good for us more mature skin people is that it's going to go on in a very light. It's not going to feel thick, or it's not going to create much volume on the eyelids area. And this area is quite delicate, and I'm far past fine lines now. We're talking about the wrinkle zone. So we really want to be careful of how much product we apply in these areas. I also have a birthmark on this eyelid here, so I use a little bit of the color corrector there too, just to try to cover that up so it don't interfere with the makeup look. And I'm just going to apply some of the Summer Fridays brown sugar lip balm just while I'm getting the rest of my face ready, just so that my lips stay nice and moisturized for the lipstick at the end. All right. The next thing I'm going to do, I'm actually going to apply Rare Beauty. Now, this is one of my holy grails. I have a backup of this in my makeup. It's the for the eyebrow gel from Rare Beauty. Mwah, chef's kiss. It's like the best one I've ever used. And I've tried a few now, some from the drugstore and then some from Sephora. And this is by far the best one I've ever tried. I'm always open to trying new things though, just because you never know what you're going to find when you open yourself up to trying something new. So I like trying new products, but I really love this Rare Beauty eyebrow gel. It's a definite keeper. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to be applying Natasha Denona concealer, and I have mine in shade N2. This is a phenomenal concealer to use because it's hydrating. So it's from the High Glam series, and I love Natasha Denona. I would actually really love to try her corrector as well. I haven't done that yet. I still just have my Charlotte Tilbury. And I'm just going to dot this into the places that I'll be spreading it. And I'm just going to leave this for a minute, just a sec, just a little bit more there in my dark circle area. So I'm just going to leave that there for a minute and let that set in. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to be using my Maybelline Build-A-Brow. Actually, before I do the Build-A-Brow, I need to draw out my lines. And I've been using the Sephora eyebrow pencil in the shade brown. And what I'll do with this before I go in with the Build-A-Brow is I'm just going to outline my brows just on the top and the bottom to sort of give me some sort of shape to follow. So on the bottom, and then I'll go on the top as well. And this is going to sort of give me the shape that I desire. And I'm just going to go back here and make sure it's sort of even. That is the goal. So I'm looking straight ahead in the mirror, and I'm going to just trace out the eyebrow shape with the eyebrow pencil. Then I'm going to go in with the Build-A-Brow, and I'm just going to lightly make some eyebrow hairs, strokes with the Build-A-Brow because I have very light eyebrows, and I am going gray if you didn't notice. And even in my eyebrows, I'm starting to get gray hairs. So I like to color my brows in. Now I don't like to go too dark, so I try to use a color that's sort of going to give me some light as well. There we go. That's looking really good. Nice and straight. So I'm always, when I'm doing my makeup, I'm looking in a mirror and looking straight on and just trying to get them nice and even. So now I'm going to use the A506 from BK Beauty, and I'm just going to start brushing out the concealer and trying to use more of a patting motion. Patting motion is most desired, and with the concealer I like to sort of bring it down and try to blend it in. And I usually just put it all over my eyelids too. Now I know not everybody does that. Some people like to use an eyeshadow primer, and that's good too. There's nothing wrong with that, but because I have that big birthmark on my eyelid, I'm trying to disguise it with some more of the concealer. So I'm just going to also spread this out on my forehead to try to give me a nice sort of even look here. Awesome. So now I got that done. Lovely. So just patting it in. So the next thing I'm going to do, you usually try to stick to all your cream products first before you go into any powders. So my next product for me would be my Rare Beauty, and I love this bronzer in the stick form from Rare Beauty. It is just lovely. I have the shade Happy Soul, and I'm going to use the A101 brush. It's a little bit smaller because this is the travel size one. I like using this just to spread out my bronzer, and that don't matter if it's my Rare Beauty or my Charlotte Tilbury, but I always like to use this brush because I have some travel brushes as well, the Angie Hot and Flashy travel blushes, and I really like to use this to spread out my cream bronzer. So there we go. Now I've got that all brushed out. It's wonderful. And then the next thing that I usually like to do is I start going into my powders because that's all the cream products I'm going to be using today. Sometimes I use a cream blush as well, or a liquid blush and then a powder blush, but today I think that I'm just going to be going in with a powder blush, and that's fine. I mean, it depends on the mood and depends on the product too. Like, I have some of Patrick Ta's blushes, and I like to use both the cream and powder when I use those. But today I'll just be using the powder blush. So my next step in this case will be, I'll be using the House Labs powdered bronzer in light, and I'll be using the 104 BK Beauty 104 brush, and I just lightly go over it, just sort of to set this product. This is a lovely bronzer. I really like this shade. There's a few powdered bronzers that I really love to use other than the House Labs, but this is one of the products that I do like to use. And then when that's done, what I'm going to do is actually set my concealer before I do my eyeshadow. So I'm just going to go over my lines, sort of just to, make sure that nothing's sitting in the fine lines. And the next product I'm going to be using is Laura Mercier translucent powder. And this one here is great for older, mature skin because it actually has some hydration in it. They have products. So when I put this product on, I've noticed that my skin don't feel dry or cakey. And I've used some powders that really do feel dry and cakey. This is not one of them. Now, my most favorite powder, loose setting powder, would be, of course, the Givenchy Prism Libre, but of course they don't make that anymore. They've changed the product and it's not as good. So I still love I use this Laura Mercier, which is great for older skin. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to set down that eye makeup first. And this is going to give me a nice base for the eyeshadow to be blended on, because to blend makeup on the eyeshadow on something sticky wouldn't be good. You'd probably get some patchiness. So I like to go over my eyes with a little bit of powder first, just to set that down and to give it a nice base for my eyeshadow pigments to be blended on. There we go. Lovely. But this is a great product for us older women with more mature skin, or older, or people with dry skin, period. It don't matter if you're more mature or not. If anyone's got dry skin, this is a great product. Probably not so great for people with really oily skin, but it's great for people with dry skin. So today I'm going to be using the Galactic Visitor eyeshadow palette from Singe Beauty. Angela Navisk. I hope I'm saying it right. I hope I'm not butchering her name, because I think the world of this lady. I also have her palettes from Odin's Eye. I think she's brilliant. And so I had to get this palette. It's just so beautiful, and the artwork is just divine. Plus, I just love the color story. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be using the BK Beauty 201, and I'm going to be starting off with that. And I'm going to be going into this shade first, and this is going to be like a transition color. So I'm just going to look straight ahead. I'm just going to use little circular going back and forth motions to start off with a transition color. And this is a great transition color, sort of setting down a little bit of pigment so that we can blend some color out. So we'll just do some little circles, blending this in, getting down a nice layer of this pigment just in this area. And then next I'll be going in with the A503, and I'm going to be using this color here, this beautiful bright yellow. And I do love yellows. They're beautiful and sunny and bright. I've watched videos where there were commentary about older people shouldn't be using color and so much glitter and whatnot. Well, guess what? I like to use it, and I think people should wear what makes them feel good. And in fact, the reason why I got into makeup is because I'm retired, and but unexpectedly I had to retire, and this has become therapeutic for me because it's self-care, and it makes me feel good every day. And feeling good about yourself, is so important. So if doing some makeup makes me feel good, then why not do it? So I'm just going to be blending this in and just setting some of this color down just to create some gradient here. And I just want to build it up right here a little bit more. There we go. Get some of that pigment down. So the next thing I'm going to do is use the A504, and I'm going to be going into this brown shade here, because brown and yellow, beautiful combination. And I'm just going to go, and I'm going to first pack it on this area, and then I'm going to blend it out. So you start by packing it down, and then you want to blend it out. You want to blend those edges out. And the one thing about makeup is there's no absolute right or wrong. And even if you make a mistake, it's not a big deal. It can be corrected. It's makeup. And it's like all the combinations that can be done is just awesome. And all the different brands out there, all the different types of makeup and formulas. I've found a lot of fun. It's a really awesome pastime. So I've really learned about indie makeup and indie brands, and then mainstream brands, and what really works for me and how to apply it, like different techniques on how to apply it. And am I still growing? Oh, yes, absolutely. You only grow when you open yourself up to that growth. And just a philosophy I've lived by for years now. So that's looking really great. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set down some eyeshadow glitter glue, and I like to use the NYX glitter glue. I've been using this for a while now, and I just use the smallest amount. You don't need a lot, just a little tiny bit, and this is enough for both of my eyelids. I'm just going to spread it out like so. We just give it a few minutes to set before we put the... So next what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with this beautiful glittery eyeshadow right here, Space Dust. I haven't been really calling the eyeshadows by name, but I have to wear glasses and I can't see the names when I don't have my glasses on. So I'm just going to pick some of the eyeshadow glitter up with my A505, and I'm just going to pat that on where I put the glitter primer on, just because one, I want this, it prevents a lot of fallout, but it also helps make that this eyeshadow really a little bit more punchy, and I like that. I like it. And then I just sort of try to carve out some of my eye just going above my fold, because I have eye folds, and if you notice, I'm sort of opening and closing, and what I'm doing is I'm trying to see where my eyeshadow lands, because where I have those folds, if I didn't and I just do that and I apply all my makeup, I'm not really going to know what's going to show when my eye is open. So I like to do that technique where you're sort of opening and closing, and that way you can actually see yourself, what other people are going to see when they look at you. So shadow on my A505. I'm just going to use a little bit of setting spray, and my choice of setting spray is Charlotte Tilbury airbrush setting spray. I love this stuff, and I'm just going to use it, spray a little bit on there just so that it has something to stick to on my face, because otherwise it's really hard, especially just right there, to have the glittery eyeshadow sort of stick. So by doing that method, you're just going to help it stay on where you want it to stay on. So I'm just going to do a little bit right 4. I believe this is the 204. It's just a little tiny brush, and I like to use it because I'm going to get some color right here at the bottom of my lash line. Now, I just sort of go to about the middle of the, right there, just to around the middle of the eye there, and I like to deposit some color just like so. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to be using a rougher 13, and I'm going to use a little bit of this shade, and I'm going to smoke that color out. So I'm going to use my rougher to smoke this out. What you want to do is you want to get it up into right like the lashes. So smoke that out. And right here, just going to smoke that out just to soften it up. I don't want anything too harsh looking. and smoke it out. Perfect. And that looks lovely. Starting to come together. And one of the things that I did learn, I'm just going to go back in with that very small Angie brush, and I'm going to just touch the outer corner again, just to make sure that stays nice and deep the way I wanted it to, and just to blend. It's all about blending. So just to do that a little bit, just to deepen that out. But you really have to trust the process, because at this point in time, you're looking at yourself and you're going, whoa. Especially when I first started doing makeup, I was often like, oh. And my colors too, I always felt like, oh my goodness, I'm putting a lot of color on my eyes. So one of the things that I did to learn exactly how the makeup looked on me is, after my makeup was done, I would go to a window and take a picture and look at that picture. And that gave me some sense of what my makeup actually looked like, because I always felt like I was putting way too much on. And in fact, I probably, compared to a lot of people, put very little on. And I found that really interesting. So if you're a beginner, or if you're just liking to learn new techniques or learn from other people, that is a huge learning tool that I learned when doing my makeup. Take a picture in front of natural light, and that way you're going to see the way your makeup looks to other people. So good lighting, really important. Okay, so I really like the way the eyes have come along. The next thing I'm going to do is, I love this e.l.f. powder contour kit. I sort of love a variety of makeup, whether it be drugstore, high-end, or even mid. I like to try a lot of different things, but this has been with me for a while, and as you can see, I've hit pan on 2 of the shades. And the reason why is because I use this beaky brush. It's nice and dense. It's a nice dense brush, and I just go into this nice little light shade here, and I use it as a highlight for my nose. I was blessed with my dad's nose. So here we go. So I just use this, and then I also use the same highlight as my inner corner. Just as much as I like color in that, I still sort of go by moderation. So I don't use, I like to have a nice matte inner corner light there, but I don't want too much color either. I am in my 50s, so I try to still make it so that it is more comfortable for me to wear. Now, if you're a little more adventurous than I, put more shimmer in there. But try, I find a light color is always the best. The next thing I'm going to do is use this bronzer right here, or it's not really a contour, because bronzers are more brown or more warm. It's more warm. So a bronzer is warm, whereas a contour is gray. And I like to use this right here down my nose. And I'm just going to use this to contour my, it's not really a true contour. I find that the gray shades actually don't look really great on me. So I use my bronzer, and I'm going to just contour my nose just a little bit, just to, because I'm going to use one of the A507 blush brush, and I'm just going to tap this on, and I'm just going to, I love the Singe Beauty blushes. They are absolutely gorgeous. Now, you know, in my 50s, it's better if I use products that are more luminous on my skin or gives me a little bit of life, because anything flat on my dry skin is just going to make me look more dried up. So if I use products that are a little bit more luminous, soft lit, it's really going to do a lot for my skin. So this blush is just gorgeous because it does have some luminosity to it, some shine. It's got a silky finish, and I really, really love all of the blushes from Singe Beauty. And for highlighter, I'm actually going to use the Rare Beauty Mesmerize, and I'll just use a fan brush, and I'll just apply just a little bit to the heights of my cheeks here, and it just gives a little bit more luminosity. And I try to use highlighters that don't have glitter. I only use highlighters that really blend and just give me a soft lit look. And I just love these highlighters. So now that I've got my face products done, I really want everything to merge, and I do that by using the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Setting Powder. I love this stuff. This is so good for mature skin, and as you can see, I use it all the time. I've hit major pain on this product, and so what I'm going to do is just go around. I usually don't go right over my blush. I'll just usually go at the edges so that it softens any of those harsh lines. I'll go over my nose because of those contouring lines and highlights. I just like to blend everything in at this point, and then even up on my forehead and anywhere I might want to blur a little bit, because this product is just phenomenal, especially for us mature skin girlies, because it don't make my face feel cakey or dry. At this point, I'm going to use my airbrush setting spray just to allow everything to set in. I do it before my mascara so that my mascara don't run. So I'm just going to give myself a good spritz, and that allows all the products to melt into each other. And this stuff really, I never have a problem with my makeup wearing off all day, but I do use a lot of great makeup products as well. So I really love the eyeshadows. I love the blushes and the foundations. I find all of these products actually do last for a really long time. So I'm just going to take my fan, just going to help this dry just a little bit faster. And it don't take very long because my dry skin soaks this stuff up. All right, now I'm going to be using, this is a newer mascara to me. It's Ilia. I actually got it, I had the Space NK advent calendar for Christmas. My husband bought it for me, and this came in there, so it's my first time using it. Lucky because my eyelashes, I don't have to use an eyelash curlers, but there's a lot of women that do. And what I've seen in videos is usually women will curl their lashes right before they apply their mascara, and sometimes they do it in the middle and sometimes at the end as well. So I'm just gonna do another layer, and we'll just keep building and just see what I can get, because I'm getting some length for sure. I'm getting some volume, which is great. And I always find, when it comes to doing your eyeshadow, it's trusting the process, because I find it's at this point you're really going to see whether or not the eyeshadow looks great, because this is like the icing on the cake. and that looks great. So as you can see, that's a very nice mascara. Is it one of the best ones I've ever used? Probably not, but it's pretty good. One of my favorite mascaras right now is actually the Panorama. That mascara is just amazing. But I also have Charlotte Tilbury's new eyelash mascara to use as well. And I haven't tried that yet, but that'll be coming soon in another video. I'm going to be using Charlotte Tilbury Lip Cheat in the shade Pillow Talk. And I love these lip liners. These lip liners really last for a long time. They set down and they last for a long time. I like the fact that it's in pencil. I like my lip liners to be sharp. Like, you should be able to sharpen them like the wooden pencils. And this is creamy, but also not too creamy. So I'm just going to... Perfect. And the lipstick that I'm going to be using today is by Lisa Eldridge. And I have a few favorite lipsticks at this point that I really, really love. And Lisa Eldridge is one of them. This is one of my newer favorite choices. This one here is in Kitten Mischief. It is just beautiful, but the formula is fantastic. Other formulas that I really like are from Pat McGrath and Charlotte Tilbury. Really beautiful formulas that actually last for a long time, because I found that a lot of other lipsticks I would put on and they would fade away pretty quick or go away, but these lipsticks are just lovely. They're creamy and they glide on. They don't emphasize any texture on the lips. And they just slide and they're gorgeous. The colors are fantastic. The application and the longevity, and that matters. Like, it wasn't until I started trying some of these lipsticks like from Charlotte Tilbury that did I realize that lipstick could last so long on the lips. And this is just fantastic. I really love it. Well, I got my products on and my face is done and I'm feeling good. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the tutorial today. I really had fun. I'm a huge makeup enthusiast and I really had a lot of fun today. If you'd like, please feel free to subscribe and so that you get notifications on when I do upload videos. And thank you and have a lovely day. Bye.